Okay, team, chapter 7. The important thing about this chapter is we're introduced to the Rostovs, particularly the mother and father. And we learn the mother has been given birth to 12 children. But as far as I'm aware, there's only 4 or 5 alive. So most of them would have died either young or in childbirth or something like that. And so we get the sense of this woman in the way it's described as this middle-aged woman, but she's tired and maybe a bit frail. And in contrast to that is her husband, and we don't really know the nature of their relationship. We have no reason to think it to be bad. He is a very energetic, happy guy, and seems like a fun guy to be around, actually. And so the setting moves from St. Petersburg. That the first 6 chapters all happen in St. Petersburg, but now we're in Moscow, and that's where the Rostovs' home is. And a few little details we learn. We learn that Prince Vasily came through on his promise to Anna Drubetskaya to give her son a position in the guards. And so that's a little bit of information we learn. And so this, at the Rostov's house, the context is it's a naming day. And so the Countess, her name is Natalia, and their youngest daughter is also named Natalia, and they're having a name day to celebrate. And it's sort of a come and go. And we learn that the Rostovs family, they don't appear to be the wealthiest or the most influential, but in social circles, they're well known, and maybe they're good at throwing parties or something. I'm not sure, but it's mostly adult situation. The kids are out in the back somewhere playing or something, but all day long there's adults coming and going, staying for a little bit of tea and then leaving and just congratulating, especially the Countess. And she's growing very weary of it. She's very, pleasant and happy to meet with these people. And Anna Drubetskaya, is there. And we learn that actually her and Boris, her son, lived with the Rostovs. They seem to be related some way. And so this is an interesting connection. And so these people are coming and going, and there's a bunch of small talk, and then you have the father, he's just escorting people to the door, and they're having this big meal later on in the evening, and he's inviting everyone, and the way it describes him as just being this very, very kind to everyone kind of guy. It didn't matter who it was, whether they were a low-standing person or rich or poor or whatever. He treated them all the same, and he just seemed to be this very jolly fellow. And so throughout the day, interesting, the small talk of the day happens to be a few different topics we're already aware of. They're talking about the old Count Bezukov, Pierre's dad, who is dying, and they're wondering about who will inherit that great estate. So apparently the old Count didn't have any legitimate children, and so the natural heir to the estate through marriage was actually Prince Vasily, we learn. And so this is a little bit of interesting information we have, wondering about Prince Vasily's motivations. And there's a lot of gossip about Anatol, Pierre, and Dolokhov and their escapades. And it's not talking of very with high regard. And here we get another bit of a group of people. You know, we've had Prince Vasily talk poorly of his boys and just wondering what to do, and we have had others, Prince Andrei, kind of warn Pierre, like, don't hang around those Anatol or the Kurgans. They're a terrible bunch of guys. And now at this party, the same reputation is following them. Especially Anatol and Dolokhov, and Pierre sort of by association. It's kind of like, this Pierre, he went abroad, he got educated, and look what it did for him, and not much good. And so this is kind of a funny little bit of small talk going on at this come and go situation. And the main thing of the chapter is we're kind of introduced to the Rostovs, and this Countess, a very likable, kind woman, but seemingly frail and tired, and by contrast her husband, also kind of very sociable kind of guy, very likable. And we're just learning a little bit more of these connections. So we wonder about Prince Vasily's motivations regarding Pierre's father. And we also learned that because of that escapade, with Pierre and his friends getting drunk and tying a bear to a policeman's back and so on, they kind of got run out of Petersburg. Dolokhov was reduced in the ranks. Prince Vasily kind of got it all hushed up for his son Anatol, but Pierre had to leave Petersburg, and he's actually in Moscow. So the setting has changed to Moscow, and we learned that actually Pierre is there because he had to leave St. Petersburg for a while to let things calm down. Also, his dad actually is there. That's where his dying father is. And we also learned that Prince Vasily has come to Moscow. So under this pretense that he's doing this sort of work-related thing, but it's really to come see the dying Count Bezukhov. So the story's getting more depth. We're changing locations, still sort of accumulating some of the characters, but it's moving along.